Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're breaking down the absolute, timeless laws of building assets that actually buy back your time. We're talking about systems that outlast your physical effort. We're getting right to the core of how ordinary folks quietly create these extraordinary futures. And spoiler alert, it's not through endless grinding. It's through careful design. So let's dive right in.
Let me ask you a really quick question. If you stopped working today, like not forever, let's just say for one single month, what would actually happen? For most people, let's be real, everything just collapses, right? Because rent, bills, and your debt obligations, they definitely do not hit pause just because you need a break. It's a tough reality, but millions live inside this silent prison every single day, where their actual survival depends entirely on their daily labor.
Which brings us to part one, the trap of effort, and why hard work alone ultimately fails. You know, we all grow up being taught that working harder is the ultimate key to a good life. Just put your nose to the grindstone, right? But here's the really uncomfortable truth. Human effort has a strict mathematical ceiling, and that number is 24. There are exactly 24 hours in a day. No matter how much energy or caffeine you have, you literally just run out of time. So, transitioning from manual effort to automated systems, that isn't just a smart move anymore, it's honestly the only logical way out.
So you essentially have two paths in life. Path one, you work for money. In this scenario, you are the worker, and the exact second you stop working, your income completely stops with you. Then there's path two. Money works for you. This is where you become the architect. Think of it like this. Your time is the seed, your systems are the soil, and your assets are the trees that literally just keep producing fruit, season after season, even while you're fast asleep.
All right, let's move into part two, the worker versus the architect mindset. To successfully cross over to that second path we just talked about, you really have to separate your identity from your daily labor. Workers are always asking, how much can I earn today? But architects, they ask, what can I build today that will earn for me tomorrow? Think of a farmer. He could carry buckets of water to his field every single day, which is an absolutely exhausting temporary effort. Or he can take the time to build an irrigation pipeline once and just let the water flow forever. The truth is, most of society is out there carrying buckets. The wealthy, they build pipelines.
And this brings us right to the hidden power of leverage. People constantly say, oh, you just need to manage your time better. But the wealthy don't manage time, they multiply it. Leverage basically means your work creates infinitely more output than the input you provide. You're building this unstoppable engine that just keeps working on your behalf way after you've clocked out for the day.
Moving on to part three, the true definition of assets, we really need to look at how money flows.
Let's just strip away all that complex, intimidating financial jargon for a second. Honestly, a lot of people fail at wealth building simply because they confuse shiny liabilities with actual assets. It is really this simple. An asset is completely defined by its direction. If a structure or a purchase puts money into your pocket consistently without demanding you to physically be there, it is an asset. Simple as that.
Conversely, a liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. And man, society is incredibly good at selling us liabilities, perfectly masquerading as comfort or status. Like, a luxury car definitely turns heads, for sure, but it is quietly draining your wealth every single month. The wealthy always choose whispering assets over screaming liabilities.
So how do we actually build this? Well, it all comes down to a three-part wealth architecture. First, you need cash flow, which gives you immediate daily freedom. Second, you need appreciation, because that guarantees your long-term growth. And third, you need protection, which ensures your survival during an economic crisis. When you finally combine cash flow, appreciation, and protection, you create forever money.
In the real world, this architecture relies heavily on three completely timeless pillars. Real estate provides that steady cash flow and appreciation we just mentioned. Gold offers serious preservation and protection during those massive economic storms. And dividend stocks, they give you that effortless, compounding leverage. Put them together, and they form a totally unshakable financial ecosystem.
Okay, part four, building your first engines and how you can literally start building today.
Now, you might be wondering, what if I don't have a massive pile of capital for real estate or gold right now? The beautiful truth of the modern era is that absolutely anyone can start building digital assets. Like the quote goes, you don't wait until you're ready, you become ready by beginning. Way too many of us are just paralyzed, waiting around for perfect conditions that honestly are never going to arrive.
Small, totally imperfect steps taken today will compound massively over time.
So here is a highly actionable blueprint for turning your own quiet knowledge into a real income system. First up is reflection. You've got to identify what you are naturally good at. Next is expression. Start sharing that knowledge publicly just to see what actually resonates with people. Then, packaging. Turn those insights into a structured product, maybe like a guide or a digital course. And finally, transformation. You scale that system so it operates totally independently of your time.
The true superpower here is that digital products are built once, but they scale infinitely. You start off by building a small machine, but over time, those small machines become massive, autonomous engines. They don't demand any extra hours of your life. They just silently scale your reach while you're out there actually living your life.
Which leads us nicely into part 5, the magic of compounding, where consistency always wins.
You see, compounding is this invisible force that builds wealth so reliably in the background. It's essentially a slow miracle of consistency over intensity. Think about the timeline. On day 1, your capital is probably pretty low, so you build with your time and your creativity. By year 3, you're automating that modest income and, crucially, reinvesting it. And then, by year 10, you shift into total acceleration and expansion. Patience and rhythm will literally always outlast a brief, exhausting burst of intense effort.
When you look at this over a lifetime, it is an exponential stack. At first, small habits feel completely flat and, let's face it, pretty unrewarding. You might even see zero results. But when you lock those small habits into consistent systems, that curve violently bends upward. Eventually, all that reinvested time snowballs straight into generational wealth. You completely stop chasing money, and the money actually starts chasing you.
As we reach the end of this explainer, we have a pretty profound philosophical takeaway to consider. Generational wealth isn't actually just about handing over a massive bank account. True legacy is transferring your perspective, your mindset, and your discipline to the next generation. Because think about it, if you don't transfer the mindset, the wealth you've built will simply collapse in unprepared hands.
So the final question is, what will you build today? You now know that freedom is a structure that absolutely anyone can build, and the tools are sitting right in front of you. It's time to take responsibility, stop trading every single hour of your time for mere survival, and finally become the architect of your own freedom. Thanks so much for exploring this with me today, and I will leave you to think on that.